What's up, y'all? Before we dive in, I need to give a quick spoiler warning. If you are not caught up on the JJK manga and you don't want to know any spoilers, you need to keep scrolling. But let's dive in. So, thank you to Gojo's top half for asking, can I explain Yuji's soul swapping technique theories? And this is a great time to address this because we actually just got some new information on this. So, for anyone that needs a refresher, back in chapter 222 of the manga, we got this scene of Yuji and Kusakabe training. And afterwards, Yuji says, "Master it already, Itadori," as if Yuji is talking to himself, but that is directed at Kusakabe, who says Osu. So the implication here is that Kusakabe is in Itadori's body, talking to Itadori, who is in Kusakabe's body. So this obviously got a bunch of theories going about, could there be some sort of soul swapped that happened and they're training in each other's bodies for whatever reason, right? Kusakabe's trying to teach Itadori something by being body switched. So that chapter and that panel is where all of the Yuji soul swapping theories come from, because how else are you supposed to make sense of that panel if not some sort of Freaky Friday situation? But again, it was all just theory because that's really kind of vague, right? There is no context shed on what's going on there until today, because volume 25 of the manga came out. And when volumes come out, there's always a lot of extras included. One such extra is a sketch that Gege did, a new sketch of Yuji. And this sketch comes after chapter 222 in the volume. And it's Yuji saying, "I feel so young, my body is so light." Clearly, this is, again, Kusakabe in Yuji's body, just enjoying his youth, his youth renewed from being in a young Itadori. So this feels like hard confirmation now that there is some sort of soul swap going on. Now, whether that is explicitly Yuji's technique or who knows what has caused it, but clearly it did indeed happen. And now that we know this, some other interesting things to consider are, one, the book that Choso gave Yuji, which is all about souls. So perhaps, Yuji, after reading this book, has some greater understanding of souls and therefore can switch. But it doesn't make too much sense to me that just from reading about something you would be able to do it. So I would still think that it has something to do with Yuji's technique, or at least understanding of souls, since he is Sukuna's vessel, or was. But yeah, this book clearly has something to do with this. And then the other really interesting thing, in my opinion, is this whole parallel that was drawn much earlier in the manga. And of course, if you're an anime only that kept watching this video, you are familiar with this. The "I'm you," when Yuji says to Mahito. Mahito was clearly a direct foil to Yuji. I mean, it's literally spelled out, right? So how interesting would it be if, similar to Mahito, Yuji did have some sort of soul manipulation ability? I'm not saying Yuji has idol transfiguration, but I just think that parallel gets even cooler, and this moment in retrospect gets even cooler if Yuji does have something to do with souls, which clearly he does, unless there's some mysterious third party that swapped Yuji and Kusakabe. But that would really feel like out of left field at this point. Anyways, I would love to hear y'all's thoughts in the comments.